There's a saying that reality eventually catches up with perception. But when it comes to Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, it seems their carefully curated image of luxury and influence is colliding with a far more unsettling truth. On the surface, they present a life of multi-million-dollar deals, sprawling estates, and an aura of untouchable privilege. Yet, insiders whisper that their financial house of cards is wobbling and the cracks are starting to show. Take Meghan's much-touted lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard. Promised as the next big thing, it fizzled before it ever truly began. A glossy promo video, a frenzied launch, a sold-out label, yet not because demand was sky-high. There simply wasn't enough product to meet any real demand. But that illusion of success hid a deeper miscalculation. Netflix wasn't about to bankroll a sprawling empire of indie-made jams. And once that charade collapsed, it exposed a much larger problem. But that was just the beginning of their unraveling. On paper, American Riviera Orchard had all the makings of a blockbuster launch. Meghan paddled out photos of artisanal fruit spreads and pastel-hued packaging, promising to redefine luxury food. The press lapped it up. Headlines proclaimed, Meghan takes on Goop, and Markle's jam jars sell out in 45 minutes. But here's the inconvenient truth. Only a few hundred jars even existed. Netflix, wary of the expenses inherent in full-scale production, backed just a small initial batch. So when Meghan bragged about a sold-out launch, it was marketing spin at its finest. An illusion of demand engineered by scarcity. Critics quickly dubbed it as never, signifying that the brand vanished as soon as it seemed to arrive. For Meghan, this wasn't a simple pivot. It was a glaring sign that grand vision without deep pockets or genuine consumer trust can implode overnight. Yet this misfire was only the tip of the iceberg, because while American Riviera Orchard was melting into obscurity, the couple's lifestyle only seemed to get more extravagant. Luxurious homes, private jets, 24/7 security teams, their day-to-day cost millions. Harry, riding the wave of his memoir Spare, appeared flush with cash. But behind the scenes, the narrative is far less glamorous. Publishers like Penguin Random House reportedly took heavy losses on Spare's initial print run, slashing prices to declare it a hit. That means Harry's payout, while respectable, wasn't enough to underwrite a billionaire's lifestyle. And once you factor in agent fees, lawyer retainers, and US taxes, the number shrinks even further. Meanwhile, Meghan's brand deals, slim to begin with, yielded crumbs. The couple reached deep into their inheritance from Princess Diana and the late Queen Mother, tapping the family coffers just to tread water. When you're burning through legacy wealth to keep up appearances, you're already fighting a losing battle. When your public persona clashes with your bank statements, things get messy. In the world of celebrity and royalty, perception is everything, and PR experts know this better than anyone. Enter that now infamous TikTok, a flight attendant aboard an American Airlines red-eye gushing about Meghan's warm personality, her thoughtful handwritten note, and those immaculate nails. It looked like a spontaneous, heartwarming glimpse into Meghan's real life. But airlines adhere to strict policies. Crew members aren't allowed to post proprietary photos or personal notes from passengers without permission. Yet this video sailed through unchallenged. No reprimand, no takedown notice, no comment from the airline. Every detail pointed to one conclusion: staged.pr. Meanwhile, rumors of Meghan's supposed diva behavior with previous flight crews had begun swirling. Entitlement, condescension, and all. So, rather than address the criticisms head-on, her team rolled out the manufactured feel-good moment. And it worked temporarily. But distraction can only work so long when the money isn't there. Next came Meghan's foray into fashion, a logical, if risky, pivot for someone of her visibility. But unlike Victoria Beckham or Rihanna, who spent years honing their design chops and leaned on deep pockets, Meghan had neither experience nor backing. Yet she seemingly waltzed into Vogue's office, allegedly demanding a solo cover. "Move Serena Williams off the April issue," she insisted, "and make room for me." If that sounds like pulling rank, it was. It backfired spectacularly. Anna Wintour isn't a woman to be bossed around, and telling her how to run her magazine was a rookie move. The result? A cold rejection that reverberated through fashion circles. Without Vogue's imprimatur, Meghan's fashion line, if it ever materialized, would have struggled for credibility. Facing a brutal market where name alone only goes so far, she would have needed millions in upfront investment. And without that, the odds of profitability were near zero. Without Vogue's blessing, her fashion dreams faced a harsh reality. Meanwhile, the Netflix deal that once promised a $100 million payday turned out to be more zero-cents headlines than substance. The media hyped a mega partnership under which Meghan and Harry would both create content and build a lifestyle brand. But behind closed doors, Netflix remained cautious. Instead of a lavish investment, they financed only enough American Riviera Orchard products to claim a sold-out launch. It was a calculated risk. Netflix is in the business of profit, not charity. Had they truly believed Meghan's brand could rival Goop or Skims, they would have backed it with full production dollars. Instead, they treated it like a pilot project. And once the initial batch didn't set the world on fire, Netflix quietly pulled back. That left Meghan holding the bag for expenses that dwarfed any real revenue. If Netflix wouldn't bet big, who would? Their next moves were desperate, because in this game, the harsh math of royal income doesn't lie. Contrary to popular belief, Prince Harry was never rolling in endless cash. While many assume that all royals share a boundless family fund, the reality is far different, especially for Harry. His memoir royalties, though substantial, were slashed by publisher discounts designed to buoy sales. After agent fees, lawyer retainers, and US tax obligations, Harry's take-home was a fraction of the advertised figure. Add in the skyrocketing expenses of running a private security detail, maintaining estates, and flying in A-list stylists and PR consultants, and the ledger quickly tilts into the red. Meanwhile, Meghan's brand deals and speaking fees trickled in sporadically, never enough to keep pace. So when the inheritance money from Princess Diana and the Queen Mother began depleting, that was their emergency fund evaporating. And if those funds run dry, there's no bottomless well left to tap. Charles has already drawn the line. No more bailouts. When the inheritance money dries up, only one question remains. That question is, what's left when reputation is gone and bank accounts are empty? The public's fascination with Meghan and Harry once brought them waves of sympathy. Leaving the firm behind, they were media darlings for daring to break tradition. But the honeymoon ended when reality set in. From allegations of bullying staff to questionable PR stunts, the controversies overshadowed any goodwill. Their Netflix docuseries, meant to humanize them, instead fueled fresh debates about their motives and authenticity. Now, every failed launch and botched publicity stunt chips away at their cachet. In a world of fleeting attention spans, you can't rest on name recognition alone. Without genuine success to show, they risk becoming footnotes, royals who burned through inheritance. Reputation is currency, and once it's spent, you're just another personality trying to sell overpriced merchandise. Are Meghan and Harry simply victims of entitlement, or a cautionary tale about chasing fame? Without substance, it's a question that lingers long after the headlines fade, but the saga doesn't end there. As doors close and deals evaporate, they're exploring licensing agreements, putting Meghan's name on products designed and manufactured by others in exchange for tiny royalties, maybe 3 to 5% if she's lucky. That's a far cry from building an empire. It's a survival tactic. Yet even that requires partners who believe her brand still resonates. And every potential collaborator asks the same question: what's the upside? With brand value plummeting, the answer is increasingly not much. Meanwhile, Harry's attempts to recast himself as a mental health advocate and public speaker are admirable, but they don't pay like media deals. And royal insiders say King Charles won't be writing another check. If Harry comes hat in hand, he'll be met with silence, because when your family's reputation is on the line, there's no room for endless rescue missions. In a prestige-obsessed world, failure, especially self-inflicted, carries a heavy cost. For Meghan, pivoting again toward fashion seems both daring and reckless. Fashion isn't a hobby, it's a cutthroat industry where even seasoned designers struggle. To break in, you need a clear brand identity, deep pockets, and industry credibility. Meghan has none of those in ample supply. Her name recognition might open doors temporarily, but without a genuine point of difference, her line would likely land flat. Worse, the public's memory of her American Riviera Orchard flops still. Stings. And when news leaked that she tried to strong-arm Vogue, that sealed the deal. Any serious fashion house is now reticent to partner. In a world where entire brands rise and fall in months, you can't fake authenticity. If Meghan's line ever sees shelves, it may be relegated to discount outlets or obscure online marketplaces, hardly the runway success she envisions. In a landscape dominated by celebrity labels backed by legacy brands, Victoria Beckham, Rihanna, even Kanye West's initial Yeezy hype, Meghan looks like an amateur skipping the apprenticeship. And without massive upfront investment, she'll be lucky to recoup pennies, let alone turn a profit. Meanwhile, Harry's public speaking and philanthropy tours are a modest revenue source, but they're a far cry from the millions once promised. Public appearances net six-figure fees, but they're sporadic. Every trip is a negotiation balancing high fees against the optics of a royal far from home. And with every headline about financial dukes and designer glasses, the narrative shifts. From modern, relatable royals to financially reckless aristocrats, social media discourse now spins tales of their Hollywood tantrums rather than royal reform. In a digital age where outrage cycles every 48 hours, capturing attention requires substance, something Harry and Meghan are running dangerously low on. Once you lose public trust, it's nearly impossible to regain. And without meaningful accomplishments on either side, they risk becoming curiosities, the royals who gambled it all and lost. Reputation is currency. Once you lose it, you're bankrupt in the court of public opinion. If there's a silver lining, it's that Meghan and Harry still possess an uncanny ability to command headlines. Whether it's a cryptic Instagram post, a surprise pit stop at a Los Angeles cafe, or whispered legal battles against tabloids, they remain gripping stories. But gripping stories don't generate revenue. Engagement metrics only go so far. Investors and partners demand tangible returns: sales figures, viewership statistics, ticket sales, licensing royalties. And right now, the numbers aren't there. Their so-called mega deals have been whittled to crumbs. Meanwhile, everyone from former aides to royal correspondents is lining up to sell memoirs painting the couple as difficult or out of touch. Every new tell-all chips away at their mystique, leaving behind a cautionary tale. Fame can be fleeting, but debt sticks around. Survival means reprioritizing, cutting costs, scaling back staff, trading private jets for commercial flights, and maybe, just maybe, returning to basics. But for two people who abdicated their titles to chase independence, that would feel like defeat. In the world of royalty and celebrity, you either play at the top or you're forgotten. So here's the real question. Will Meghan and Harry find a way to rebuild, or have they already crossed the point of no return? They've tasted every form of luxury and walked away from the world's most storied institution. Yet now, they're scrambling to recast themselves as brand moguls, without the capital or industry know-how. It's a bet that could pay off if they can secure the right partner to bankroll a genuine vision. But so far, the only offers are for licensing deals that tip pennies into their pockets. If they're forced to rely on family inheritance alone, that's a ticking clock disguised as a lifeline. When the final checks clear, will they be forced to reassess their ambitions or risk financial collapse? The once insatiable media appetite that fueled their rise may soon be replaced by a hunger for schadenfreude. After all, in celebrity culture, downfall often draws more clicks than success. So as their empire teeters, the world watches, popcorn in hand, ready for the next act. Are Meghan and Harry writing a redemption story or a tragedy? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. The glitter is fading, the bills are mounting, and the clock is ticking. In the end, perhaps the most striking lesson is how quickly illusions of wealth can crumble under scrutiny. Meghan and Harry crafted a narrative of empowerment, independence, and modern monarchy. Yet the foundation rested on shaky financials and strategic missteps. From the American Riviera Orchard debacle to fashion dreams dashed by Vogue's cold shoulder, every miscalculation revealed how steep the climb truly is. When you're accustomed to privilege, the transition to sustainable business ownership can be brutal. Strategies that seem obvious, partner with established designers, secure sufficient production budgets, nurture consumer trust, were either ignored or mishandled. Now, faced with dwindling resources and eroding credibility, they confront a stark reality. Fame doesn't equal fortune, and name recognition alone isn't enough to build an empire. In a world where fans measure authenticity with every purchase, Meghan and Harry's story highlights a universal truth. You can't fake substance indefinitely, and when your safety net is family inheritance, time is the ultimate adversary. The question now isn't just whether they can succeed, but whether they can survive the consequences of failed dreams. Because in their world, failure isn't just a headline, it's an inheritance squandered, a brand tarnished, and a legacy in jeopardy. The choice facing them is simple, even if painful. Downsize and rebuild from the ground up, or keep chasing illusions until the final check bounces. Which path they choose next could define their lives and how we remember them, long after the cameras stop rolling.